Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of English in Flow. Today, we're diving into a topic that's as intriguing as it is practical. Learn English like a baby, the secrets to natural language learning. Now, you might be thinking, how on earth can we learn like babies? But trust me, this is going to be a game changer.
Oh, wow. I'm totally hooked. But, how do babies actually learn languages? They just listen to sounds, right? Is there a secret sauce that we can borrow?
Exactly. It's almost like watching a magic show unfold. Picture this: a baby quietly observing everything around them. They absorb sounds with no fear of making mistakes. Can you imagine how many words they encounter before uttering their first dada or mama? It's mind-blowing.
Wow. I have no clue. Is it, like, thousands of words? It feels pretty wild to think about how much they soak in first before opening their mouths.
Absolutely. Babies drown in a sea of sound before they ever attempt to speak. This brings us to our first method: listening before speaking. Many learners get tied up with grammar rules and anxieties about mistakes. But babies? They just listen and absorb. So, I encourage you to focus on listening to natural conversations and repeat phrases that resonate with you.
Oh, that's fascinating. So it's about training the ears first? Kind of like how musicians nail their scales before jamming out?
Precisely. You're spot on. Just like a musician, the more we tune our ears to the language, the better we can play our own linguistic instrument. Now, on to mimicking and shadowing. Think of how a baby eagerly tries to copy the sounds they hear.
Oh, wow. Like when they attempt to say dada or mama? But, what if someone feels silly doing that? I mean, that's not me. Or maybe it is, laughs.
I completely understand that sentiment. There's this universal fear of sounding silly, but remember, babies don't strive for perfection, they just mimic. So here's my challenge to you. Try mimicking native speakers from your favorite shows or audio clips. It's not only okay to be imperfect, it's essential.
That totally makes sense. Are there any specific shows or genres you think are best for, mimicking?
Great question. Children's programming is fantastic for this. They typically use simple language and clear pronunciation. Now, let's pivot to our next strategy, using simple one- or two-word responses. Babies absolutely start small.
Haha, yeah, I'd totally freak out if a baby just broke into Shakespeare. So, what do you tell people who feel pressured to generate elaborate sentences?
Exactly. That pressure can be overwhelming. Instead, embrace simplicity. Just like a baby would, practice responding with a word or two when interacting with friends. Next up, let's discuss the power of narrating your daily actions. Picture a baby enthusiastically pointing at things. It's simple, yet profoundly effective.
But isn't that kind of weird? Like, who would want to hear me talk about boring stuff like, I'm cleaning the dishes?
Surprisingly, it's incredibly powerful. It might feel strange at first, but think of how freely babies narrate. You can casually describe your actions through the day, even if it's as mundane as organizing your sock drawer. This will reinforce your vocabulary.
Oh, wow. That's actually pretty fascinating. I could do that while doing, like, anything. Even, vacuuming?
Absolutely. And don't forget, cleaning can become a narrative in itself. Now, let's explore our fifth strategy: having a patient language parent or mentor. Just as babies rely on caregivers, you can find a supportive tutor or friend who guides you without judgment.
Wow, so it's like having my own personal language coach? That sounds fantastic. But what if someone doesn't have access to a tutor?
Great observation. Many learners feel lonely on their journey, but technology is a game changer. There are amazing apps and online communities filled with resources and language partners. The key is to find someone uplifting.
Wow, awesome. So like, I can just connect with people who want to learn together? That's so cool.
Exactly. And speaking of connections, let's now discuss focusing on the 2,000 most common words in everyday conversation.
Wait, only 2,000 words? That sounds, surprisingly manageable. I expected it to be way higher.
I know, right? It can feel overwhelming. But remember, babies don't stress about vocabulary size. They start with the fundamentals. So focus on those essential words to lay a solid speaking foundation.
Oh man, that feels super relieving. You mean I can target, like, only the words that really count?
Exactly. It's not just a numbers game. Consistency is crucial. By the way, do you know how many words you actually need to achieve fluency?
I'm guessing over 10,000? That feels right, doesn't it?
Actually, it's around 2,000 words to grasp most conversations. Keep in mind that it's more about even when they totally get what's going on. It's like having a beautifully crafted puzzle piece but being lost on how to form the picture. Picture this. Many learners spend years obsessing over grammar but still find themselves tongue-tied when it's time to speak. It's a classic conundrum.
Wow, that sounds super intriguing. But, like, why do you think people get so stuck on grammar? Is it, just a habit?
Excellent question. Let's consider babies for a moment. They don't crack open grammar books at 6 months, right? Instead, they listen, they experiment with sounds, and they eventually string together real words. If you approach English the same way, just absorbing sounds and rhythms, you'll find it much easier to think and respond naturally.
Wait, so you're saying we should just, forget about grammar and focus on listening? How do you, like, even practice that?
Yes, here's a fun analogy. Think of learning to ride a bike. If you spend all your time reading the manual, you'll never hop on. You need to feel the balance, the wobbles, and the freedom of pedaling. Language learning follows the same principle. Immerse yourself in the sounds and patterns of conversation.
That totally makes sense. But how many words do you actually need to have a good conversation? It seems like a lot, right?
Surprisingly, not as many as you'd think. You could manage with around 2,000 words for nearly 90% of daily conversations. Think of it this way. That's like having a versatile toolbox to help you tackle various tasks in your everyday life.
Wow, really? That's way less than I expected. But what about those, mistakes? What do beginners usually do that trips them up?
Great follow-up. One big mistake is worrying too much about grammar right from the beginning. Schools often bombard students with rules. But think about babies. They learn primarily through listening and interacting. If you become obsessed with rules, it might stifle your confidence and cause you to hesitate when speaking.
So you're saying we should be more like babies? But how can I actually practice this? Like, on my own?
Exactly. Fill your day with English. Listen to engaging podcasts, binge watch some shows, or blast English music as you go about your day. This is all about letting the language wash over you so that it seeps in naturally.
Ooh, I love that. So it's like creating a fun English atmosphere. But I'm a bit nervous about speaking. How do I start?
Speaking is crucial. Here's a little secret. Repetition and imitation work wonders. Just like babies learn by hearing the same phrases repeatedly, you should do the same. When you're watching your favorite show, pause it and repeat sentences aloud. Try recording yourself too. It's amazing how much you can improve just by hearing the nuance in your speech.
Wait, so basically, I should be, narrating my life as I go along? Like, talking to myself?
Yes. Just as babies hear their parents narrating everyday actions, you can talk about what you're doing in real time. I'm cooking dinner, or I'm heading out for a walk. This method helps you internalize the language and build your vocabulary without the pressure of grammar.
I can totally see how that could help. But what if I, mess up? I feel like everyone's, judging my English.
I get that concern. Trust me, overcoming that fear is essential. Most people you interact with just want to connect. Keep your responses simple. If someone asks about your day, it's totally fine to reply with just, "Good," or "It was nice." You'll be surprised how effective clear simplicity can be.
Ha! Totally. Keep it simple, right? So, how do I find people to practice with? Should I look for a partner?
Perfect idea. Just like babies have caregivers, you should find a language exchange partner or a supportive tutor. They can help correct your pronunciation and offer friendly feedback. Way less intimidating.
Cool. I feel like I've gained so much insight already. Are we, almost done?
Before we wrap things up, let's remember one last thing. Embracing the rhythm of speech is vital. Being aware of intonation and natural pauses will make all the difference in how you express yourself. These nuances are like the seasoning that elevates your language skills to another level.
Got it. I see what you mean. It's about, really seasoning my English. This is actually so much fun.
And remember, aiming for those 2,000 words gives you the essential tools for effective communication. Think of it as your language toolkit, ready to be deployed.
Wow, I can't wait to dive in. I'm ready to get going with this whole English thing.
Awesome. Keep practicing, enjoy the journey, and we'll see you next time with more tips and tricks to supercharge your English skills. Bye for now.
Yay!